Whoa, what happened there? That guy's like all bruised up and stuff too. Getting a fight or something? There was a lot of fascinating, but I guess some of them were kind of worrisome in some ways for some of the news and stuff. I guess the first interesting thing was just in terms of things like that Mavic Air 2 coming out. I guess not surprisingly, there's huge price drops. Like this one, you can apparently buy that Mavic Air Fly More now for $699 US. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of this. It makes me wonder, during times like this, even if you have no intent to buy the newer model drones, I guess if you were in the market for the older ones, it might be a good time for that, I guess, because there will be extreme price drops like this. I don't know, when I was flying the drone yesterday, I noticed those gimbal shakes. Could it be the ribbon again? It's one of those things. That's one of the drawbacks to this original Mavic Pro, huh? And with the pandemic stuff still going on, a lot of people using drones to document the events that are happening. How about this one? It says, NYPD seizes drone documenting mass Hart Island burials amid coronavirus. The NYPD seized the drone of a photojournalist documenting the mass burials on Hart Island amid the coronavirus crisis, according to a report. Thousands of city residents have succumbed to the COVID-19, creating a grim backlog of bodies in cities, morgues, hospitals, and funeral homes. Aerial photographer George Steinmetz, who has an FAA license to fly a drone, had launched the $1,500 device from a city island parking lot Wednesday morning to film the somber work on Hart Island when he was suddenly stopped. Just minutes after he began, Steinmetz was confronted by a group of plainclothes NYPD officers who stepped out of an unmarked van. The cops confiscated the drone and issued him a misdemeanor summons for avigation, an antique law prohibiting aircraft, including drones, from taking off or landing anywhere in New York City that isn't an airport, the report said. So that's kind of crazy, huh? It says a frustrated Steinmetz posted to his Instagram saying, quote, "For over 150 years, this island with no public access has been used to bury over 1 million souls whose body were not claimed for private burial. With the morgues of NYC strained, the pace of burials on Hart Island has increased dramatically. I was cited by the NYPD while taking this photo, and my drone was confiscated as evidence for a court date tentatively scheduled for mid-August." Wow. So essentially they're using that regulation where they said it was outdated actually, where if you guys remember there was that death where part of the building fell on an individual, and they're saying it's because of these, I guess, draconian laws that they could have avoided the death because you could have used a drone. So they're basically using this, I guess, to silence the guy, to say we don't like you filming this stuff. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? That's a legitimate concern in terms of things like these regulations and all that when they don't make sense. Is it all about safety, or is it more about, I guess, controlling the regular average person from seeing things that I guess you don't want them to see? That's a little troublesome, like I said. With that in mind, with drones in the US, how about this one? Apparently the FAA violated some, I guess, security protocols in managing drone operators' informations. This one says from the US Department of Transportation, Office of Inspector General, FAA lacks sufficient security controls and contingency planning for its DroneZone system. It says the FAA DroneZone, as well as its low altitude authorization and notification capability, an automated system that authorizes registered UAS users to fly their drones near airports. Both DroneZone and LAANC are cloud-based systems that contain sensitive data provided by the general public. That's the item that they have in the US, which enables them to get instant approval to fly in things like controlled airspace, to my understanding, which a lot of Canadians here are hoping they will have here. Although it says what they found. FAA has not effectively ensured that DroneZone and LAANC had adequate security, including privacy controls. For example, FAA has continued to authorize DroneZone operations without conducting a comprehensive assessment of the security controls since it first began to operate the system in 2015. In addition, FAA's inadequate monitoring of security controls and use of unauthorized cloud systems increased the risk of systems being compromised. Furthermore, FAA could not demonstrate that 24 of the 26 privacy controls were assessed to protect 1.5 million DroneZone users' PII. We also found that the FAA's contingency planning does not adequately limit the affected cause by potential disruption of services. Finally, FAA does not have sufficient controls for handling backups and off-site storage to ensure continuous operations and maintain data availability. That's kind of crazy if so. So essentially, it's one of this, just throw something out there and worry about it later. Let's just like register everyone. Such half-baked solutions, I guess you could say. And it says, we have found that 9 of 23 contingency plan security controls for DroneZone and LAANC had been miscategorized, including one critical control that requires a system owner to provide the capability to restore the system. So I guess you would think like here, hey, how did this all fall under the crack? You're a huge government organization, so to speak. You should all monitor this rigorously and all that before releasing it, correct? Well, I think this one takes the cake. It says, according to FAA, the controls were not in place because of increased reports of unauthorized and unsafe use of small unmanned aircraft, which pose a significant safety risk to the public. As such, FAA's intent was to quickly authorize registration service. That's unbelievable, huh? It's almost perfectly equivalent to the quote nightmare scenario here in Canada. Yeah, just throw something out there, I guess, huh? Make it look like you're doing something. Makes me wonder if that's worse or what they had in Canada initially, if you guys remember, where they wanted everyone to put their full name, address, and number outside of the drone. Man, that's ridiculous. Alright, see you guys later.